cards. Anyway, first things first though, we're also going to listen to some casual tunes while doing this, so I'm trying out this new setup with the camera to see if I can actually have it so that I can actually look at the camera and such, so people could see my reaction and such. It's always nice to have the hype of the opening of the package. Anyway, the hunt begins. As for any fiends that I'm hoping to pull in this, any more Ridden 7s would be pretty nice, but probably Teferi also. Any of the Planeswalkers, to be honest. But other than that, mostly any of the Adversary Cycle would be really nice to pull, but there's also some really other saucy new cards and such that are from the set. So, and for any list cards, I mean, I don't know, pulling a Cabin Souls would actually be really nice, but for the list cards, Showcase Sagata for the new Humans deck, I can definitely see that. I do need to really try Selesnya Humans, actually. I do think that would actually be a pretty fun archetype to try out. I would not deny that assessment. Anyway, we got our packs. So we're going to put them over here for the sake to give us space. And let's get cracking. Okay, so our art card is a Sun Gold Sentinel. Pretty good 1 white drop, in my opinion. And also the art on it's pretty, not 1 drop, 2 drop. What am I thinking? Then we get ourselves a nice little island. Seriously. Oh, whoops. Sorry for that. I don't know if you can catch it here, but the gloss here is actually really nice. There we go. Then we got Soul Guide Griffin. Stormrider Spirit. Plummet. Dawnhort Rejuvenator. Storm Streelets. Seize the Storm. Do like this. We did got an Equinox art card, which is actually a pretty decent one in Limited. Candlegrove Rich. Nice bear with upside, honestly. Plus the alternate art on it is actually really nice. Then we got ourselves an uncommon, which is the Delver of Secrets. Good card. Definitely a really... It'll be interesting to see if someone can actually make this work in Standard, but still, nice reprint for people who need it in Pauper. Outland Liberator is our werewolf. Very nice. Then we got a Bloodline Culling. Great rare. I've been playing this in my control lists in Standard and such. Great removal option in Standard, especially with a lot of stuff having 5 toughness and such. So that's our rare. Our foil is a Gavany Silversmith. Mostly just a good limited card. And our rules, or not rules, Magic minigame is the Booster Blitz. For the sake of just, I'm just going to keep the rares or any foils just to the side here. Just for the sake of just space and such. So we're going to put it like right here. That's a good first rare. There we go. We might got a list card here. It's hard now because they actually have it where technically you can get the quote-unquote cards that give you kind of like the ability to write on them for the sake of double-side cards. And they also take the spot of the rules cards, so sometimes you actually get those, so it's actually kind of manipulative and such. Anyway, we got Scab Wrangler as our art card. Very nice. We got ourselves a gorgeous mountain. Seriously, these full arts Shadowlands are just amazing. It is sad that the champion Parish got murdered, but on the bright side, us zombie tribal players love that. Though, great in zombie tribal. Anyway, we got ourselves a Shipwreck Sifters. Geist Wave. Good card. Devious Cover-Up. You can see in there that a wife is hiding his husband as a scarecrow. That is a little ominous. Candlelit Calvary. Arcane Effusion. Great in the Izzet builds. Speaking of which, Thermal Alchemist. My boy. My 2-drop Peony boy. You are back in Standard. Oh, the shenanigans you are going to be brewed around. Then we get an Equinox card. This is actually one of the better ones. Kasich Naturalist into also the Lord of Uvenwald. Pretty much a really, really great werewolf lord. Then we get ourselves the Covert Cut Purse. Mostly for limited, but, you know, if you want to do like spirits with a little bit of splash of black, there you go. Then we get another Equinox, which is the Harvesttide Infiltrator. Not bad, but not amazing limited. Then our rare is the Rite of Harmony. This is going to be a really good EDH card, but I am curious about trying it in Standard once I pull it. I'm curious in Standard. I don't think it's going to be great, but I'm curious. Then we get an Ambitious Farmhand foil that is also turns into the Seasoned Cathar. And we do actually get a list card this time around. Our list card in this case is Toils of Night and Day. Huh. Interesting. Kind of cute, actually, in the Orvar, kind of like, not, is it Orvar, the shapeshifter that when you target stuff, you copy them? Interesting list card, not gonna lie. Okay, we got a token in the back, so definitely no list card this time around. Our art card is Can't Stay Away, aka Kitties. That's pretty much how you can summarize the art card on this, is Kitties. Hey, Arston, how you holding up? Hey, Arston. Anyway, we get ourselves a gorgeous mountain. We do get the Flip the Switch. We get ourselves a Falcon Abomination. Great and limited, though I do have to admit it does look a little bit, you might not notice this because you just noticed the big zombie bird, but in the side, the little zombie in the back here has a falcon head, so let me see if I can zoom in close and see. Yeah, it has like a bird head, so definitely interesting. Nothing yet, Gerard. We don't have any sick pulls yet. Like, we got the good Bloodline Culling removal, we got the Rites of Harmony, and our first list card is technically a good card for Orvard, so nothing I would consider sick yet. Homeward Sentry, Ritual Guardian, Kafar's Car. The card I really wish was good, but I don't think it's that good. I'll definitely try it inevitably in like a jank brew, but I don't think it's amazing. Then we got Defend the Celestis. Our Equinox card is Tavern Ruffian into Tavern Smasher. Then we get a Beloved Beggar that turns into a Generous Soul. Do love the flavor of that. Flavor that is. Then we got ourselves a Spell Rune Painter that turns into a Spell Rune Howler. And actually a really good card, the Suspicious Stowaway, that's a good pull, that turns into the Seafaring Werewolf. I've been playing this card actually in kind of like a Bant list in Standard. This card is legit. This card is legit awesome. So yeah, that's a good pull. And hey, we even got a foil Falcon Abomination. So now we have a foil bird head. That's nice. And we got ourselves a minigame. Yeah, they did really good with the showcase with the Equinox style. Not gonna deny that. That is actually legit. Like, it's cool that they did the Equinox style, as well as, like, the Eternal Night on some of the legendaries in this set, so really nice. So, here we go. So our art card is Burn the Curse. Oh, now that's pretty. Okay, we got ourselves a foil forest in the Eternal Nights. Wow, that is beautiful. Wow. Now that's pretty. Shiny and pretty. I'm gonna put that to the side. Yep, that's the best way to summarize it. Ooh, shiny. Then we got a No Way Out. Diagraph Hold. Great card in Limited, personally. This is kind of like a sleeper card in Limited to some extent, but I think a lot of people are catching on to this card. It's just really good. Also, Eaten Alive. Good removal spell in Limited, but I could see it also as budget and constructed. Sungold Barrage. Just decent Limited removal. Oldrut's Outlater. Decent Limited. If you're playing Orzhov Control that has a sacrifice outlet, you might be playing Rites of Oblivion. And we got actually a commander card. From the commander decks, we got Kyler's Guardian Emissary. That would be good for the human travel decks. That's a good pull. Then we got ourselves a Tireless Hauler Equinox, as well as the Diastrain Brawler. That's a mythic, so we're going to put that right over there. Then we got ourselves a Shady Traveler, and ooh, I think I see a good rare. We got ourselves our Torvalar friend, my friend. We got Torvalar, Dire Overlord, as well as Torvalar, the Midnight Scourge. Pretty much the werewolf commander that we have been asking for quite a while. Great card. Especially the fact that on the backside you get a Keswick Warflun activated ability. And the fact that you get the Toski ability that anytime werewolves deal damage. I actually seen a funny brew today when I was playing on Arena during my lunch break, where someone was actually playing kind of like a more or less tribal deck, where essentially they played Maskwood Nets as a 4 of, and then they play Torvalar, but they also played the Cleric that gains life whenever a Cleric comes into the battlefield, and then they were also playing Calamity Bearer. It was actually a really funny brew to see. The problem is I was playing my Gritz's Steal Your Stuff deck, so yeah, I kind of stealed most of the travel stuff, so then our foil is actually a really good card in Standard, in my opinion. Lunarch Veteran, as well as the Luminous Phantom. Great card! I have to admit, I've been seeing a lot of decks have been incorporating this in their Standard decks. Really good card. And we get ourselves a Clue token. I do have to admit, the Clue tokens this time around are really cool, but creepy. But yet on the other hand, we're on Innistrad, so makes sense. Standard Soul Warden? Pretty much. Okay, we might have a chance for a list card here. It could also just be a token card, but let's take a look. So our art card in this case is the Patrician Geis. I do want to brew around this, but we'll see. Then we get a nice mountain. We get ourselves kind of like my sleeper honorary mention card, which is Rotten Reunion. It's not the best card in the world, but I do love the American Gothic callback. Then we got Crawl from the Cellar. Decent card in Limited. Kafar Commando. Okay, this card is legit. A 2-mana free one with Flash that has the Caustic Caterpillar ability. That is a legit good card. And a common. That's a good card. Then we get Gavany. We get ourselves the Grizzly Ghoul, which, when this got spoiled, everybody was just like, why wasn't it mono green so I could put it in my Bear Tribal deck? That's where pretty much the basic gist I heard from everybody. Then we get Diagraph Rebirth. Good card. It'll definitely be interesting to play this in the list that more or less are just like the Plum the Forbidden style sacrifice deck outlets. I think I've seen some people have been trying that list out, so. Then we get an Equinox style card of Hound Tamer, which I think, I can't remember who said it, that was from WotC staff, but this is their take, since it's a teenager in the card, on the American teenager werewolf. So that's kind of their joke hidden card, but also turns into the Untamed Pup. Pretty good card in Limited. I definitely could see some werewolf tribal decks giving this a shot. Definitely for EDH. In Standard, there's kind of maybe. Then we get Chaplain of Arms. Really good card in the Mono White Weenies deck that kind of like run Paladins class. That also turns into the Chapel Shield Guys. Well, say that 5 times fast. Then we get another Equinox card, which is the Outland Rippulator again, along with the Frenzied Trap Breaker. Art on this is legit. Then we get the Hallowed Respite. I know a lot of people wanted this to be instant, but after playing it a little bit, it's actually pretty decent. One of the things that people don't realize, at least in Limited, if you need to, like, reset your spirits because you don't want them to die, like, you know, they're going to die either through a sacrifice outlet or something, and you don't want them exiled, you can actually just bounce and flicker your spirits to flip them back, especially if they have a more beneficial front side than you believe. So, decent card. I will admit, it's not like the best card in the set. Then we get a Pax Betrayal. Foil. Not bad for Limited. And like I said before, You know, this would usually indicate you got a list card, but now they have it where they also include these token cards in the set boosters, so you kind of get a little bit deceived. Which is kind of clever because it is kind of one of those scenes where I do have to admit it was kind of obvious, but yeah, it is kind of a little bit of a buzzkilly when you just see the back of that and you're like, oh, list card, and you're like, oh no, it's a token card. Ah, monkeys. Okay. Pretty much. Anyway, our art card is the Rejuvenator. Then we get ourselves Beautiful Island, Hobbling Zombie, Siege Zombie. Now, this is a bear to not underrate in Limited. In Limited, this is actually can help you win some games. Especially if you're in kind of like a stalling board state. Like, there's just some times where you just end your turn and you're like, okay, gonna drain you. Boop. Then we got the Larder Zombie. Then we got Search Party Captain. Then we got pretty much Dreadhound, aka a legendary last in Eldraine, but now it's just an uncommon doggo, which I like my doggos, even the ones that are a little bit intimidating, one could say. Then we got Infernal Grasp, great removal. I think I have to get a playset of this for Carlos Ravnican artist, essentially. He needs a playset for that for standard. Then we got the Burly Breaker with the Dire Strain Demolisher. Then we got the Village Roch that turns into the Village Reavers. Then we got the Blade Scoundrel that transforms into the blade called Marauder. Yet again, good limited card. Remember, that -1 effect actually affects all creatures that are blocking it. So if your opponent tries to block with a token, there's a good chance the token's just going to die. And yes, we got actually good rare. We got really good rare. We got Faithful Absence. Still probably one of the... okay, stretching here. We still got probably one of the best removals in the set. Great that we got this. And then our foil is a Lillian Kafar's. Just a good limited card. Yeah, pretty much. White Doomblade. That is the best way to explain that card. It's White Doomblade. Okay, so we got Arlen's the Moon's Fury in the gorgeous, kind of like Equinox art. Let's actually show that off again, because that is legit beautiful. I gotta unfuzz my camera a little bit. There we go. Then we got ourselves a nice forest. We got ourselves a scarecrow. Like, everybody was worried that there was not going to be a scarecrow, and then the last day when they revealed everything, it's like, oh, here's your scarecrow. Huh, kind of fitting for the spooky set. Then we got Celestis Sanctifier, Bramble Arbor, Timberland Guide. Nice reprint, especially with the Coven mechanic in Limited. Then we got ourselves a Cathartic Pyre. Good removal for Standard as well as Limited. Then we get ourselves a Purifying Dragon. In other words, is pretty much the best way I describe that card. Then we get ourselves an Equinox Dawnheart Rejuvenator. Then we get ourselves a regular Hound Tamer. Then we also get a Vengeful Strangler. And then our rare is a Willowgeist. I know a lot of people in Modern have been wanting to get this card for their Dredge deck, so that's not a bad pull. Then we get ourselves a foil, Tapping at the Window. Not bad. And then Make New Friends every Friday night. A little bit of advertisement there. Okay, we got a token here. So, no list card. And hey, we got ourselves a regular Arlen's the Pack's Hope. That's cool. Then we get ourselves a Swamp, a Behemoth. Actually, I'm going to put the lands here to the side. A Blood Pact. Decent card draw for common. Then we get ourselves the Novice Occultist, the Clarion Cathars, Foul Play. Which I think this is a sneakily good card in Standard, especially if you're a Deadly Dispute deck, since you can actually use the clue tokens to sacrifice to Deadly Dispute. Little tip there. Then we get a Fordaran Ambusher, a Stormcrook Bloodthief, an Overwhelmed Archivist, which is good for Limited in my opinion. Really good Limited card. Then we get the Tavern Ruffian, and we got ourselves our technically second Mythic if we're not including the Commander card, or first Mythic, but second Mythic technically, the Consuming Blob. In other words, Termagoroth if it was an ooze. Then we get ourselves a foil Dawnhort Rejuvenator. You could say that poll was amusing. Anyway, bad pun aside. Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to do the new Ooze Tribal. Okay. Come on. Okay, this one's a hard one to open. That might mean good tidings. Come on. What's the myth? Usually when it's hard to open, that means something saucy. Well, no list cards, so nothing that saucy. Anyway, so we got a Bloodthirsty Adversary as our art card. Good card in Standard, in my opinion. Then we get ourselves a nice Swamp. We got ourselves a Considered. I don't know if we're going to see 15 Ren and 7s, but if we get at least 1 or 2, I'll be grateful. Then we get ourselves a Secrets of the Key. Flip the Switch. Harvestite Sentry. Sacred Fire. Okay, this card is actually surprisingly a lot better in Standard than I thought. I thought it was just going to be a decent limited card, but it turns out a lot of Boros burn decks are showing up in the meta as tier 1 decks. And that's just because Sacred Fire is just really good to be early game, but also if you're playing it like in decks that have that dragon that whenever you cast a spell of 1 or 2 colors, you discard and draw cards equal to the many colors that are in the spell. So if you have that dragon on the field, this is just essentially baby heal it, but then you draw 2 cards, essentially, if you discard your hand, so good card. It's a card that's a lot better than I thought it was. Good card for Limited, but I also been seeing some people trying it in Standard, especially in the aggro decks. Wait, there was a pre-release where every kit had an Arlen in there, and some people had 2? I have not seen that story. That is silly. I think everybody was trying to play red-green there, I could probably guess. Then we got ourselves a Sunset Reveille. Great uncommon, definitely for Standard and Pioneer. Then we got ourselves a Dawnhort Wardens in the Equinox art. Then we got ourselves some Morning Patrol. And we got our second Mythic, third Mythic technically, which is the Sigardian Savior. Played this actually during my pre-release. Not a bad card when I'm able to play it. And also, Angel! So, cue pretty much, cue the Angels person on Twitter that says, Angels, Angels, Angels! Well, we got a second Angel. And then we got ourselves a foil zombie. We get the foil Blade Stitch Scout. Not a bad pack. Not a bad pack. And then, are you totally at loss? Let us help. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, so this is either a list card or it's the token card, so we'll see what it is. Anyway, so our art card is the Celestis Sanctifier. We get ourselves what I call the Scarecrow Plains, because there's a Scarecrow in the foreground. And some pumpkins, if you can see it. Okay, Falcon Abomination, Drownyard Amalgam, Revenge of the Drown, really decent tempo card in Limited. Ritual Guardian, Gavany Dawnguard, great card in Limited. I still need to try this out in Standard. I think it's a good card in Standard, but I still need to test it. Then we get a regular Wardens. Then we get a Dawnheart Mender. Pretty much unlimited. If you need to trigger Coven, this is a really good way to trigger Coven. Then we get ourselves the Tireless Hauler along with the Dire Strain Brawler in the Equinox art. Then we get a Shady Traveler And our rare this time around is the Curse of Leeches. That turns into Leeching Lurker. But we also get a foil rare. We get a foil Galvanic Iteration. Not a bad one to pull as a foil. Plus, also, it's kind of nice to see the lightning detail here. Okay, let me... There we go. That's actually really nice in foil. And, of course, not a list card. Ba-da-dun-da-da-dun. Yeah, the leeches is definitely nightmare fuel. I will not deny your assessment there. Okay, another one that could be a fake list card. Let's see. Okay, so... Lord of Uvenwald is our art card. We get ourselves a nice forest. We get an organ holder, a component collector, a Hedgewitch mask. Okay, this card's a lot better in Limited than I gave it credit for originally. Like, I was going against one deck in Limited that played two of these, and it was just, their board scaled tremendously. It was hard to beat that deck. Then we got Join the Dance, Ritual of Hope, Harvesttide Infiltrator, as well as our Tavern Brawler. We got a Bird Miler, and our rare is a Rim Countless Stalwart Slayer. Also a decent burn card as well. Pretty much if you're playing Boros Burn, you give this a shot because it makes your burn spells a lot more effective. And hey, we got ourselves a foil Secrets of the Key. Carlos Ravnagardis will probably like that. And then we do get a list card. We get the Clearwater Goblet. 5 mana Sunburst. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may gain 1 life for each charge counter on Clearwater Goblet. Huh. I can see that in like a life gain synergy deck in EDH, so I can see that. That is technically a rare, so we're going to put that there, as well as Rin. I can definitely see that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we get ourselves a forest art card. Very nice. Also very fitting that we got the forest with the same art. That is very fitting. Then we get ourselves a Blade Brand. A Voron Scener. A Might of the Old Ways. A Return to Nature. A Blood Type Collector. Hungry for More. aka pretty much Skelemental or Lightning Skelemental. That's a spell. Then we get another Rejuvenator. We get another Witch. We get a Warden. And we get Croaking Counterpart. Oh, the art on this is so glorious. I still need to get like 3 more of these in Arena so I can brew my deck that I want to brew around with this, but that's a fun rare to pull. Then our foil is an Obsessive Astronomer, and we just get an ad card. Yeah, it's very riveting. Okay, we get a Day-Night token here, so no list card. Okay, so we get Tovalar, Dire Overlord in this art, which is gorgeous. And we get ourselves a foil mountain. Shiny! Oh, so shiny. That's so pretty. Then we get Falcon Perforator, Foragers, Stolen Vitality, Eccentric Affirmer, Vampiric Socialite, which is actually the thing that's actually making Vampire aggro decks in Standard work, Play with Fire, Upgraded Shock, Unnatural Moonrise. I've been playing this in like a Naya Werewolf list because it allows me to essentially like have a spell where I cast a cheat spell, then Unnatural Moonrise to make my Kafar into a werewolf. But then I cast 2 spells, so it's going to be day on the opponent's turn. And that way it flips back, and then I exile something that the opponent controls. The Brutal Kafar has just been a great first week card. Then we got ourselves an Equinox Bird Miler, as well as Rune Shredder, a Awakener, and we get ourselves our first, as I like to call them, the Chill Lands. We got ourselves a Shipwreck March. I will take as many of these as I can. I need to get a playset of each for Constructed, so... Then we get ourselves a Gale Drifter, as well as a Wall Drifter. And we get ourselves our classic daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, essentially. Okay, we get ourselves a rules card, so we get ourselves a Dryad's Revival as our art card. Then we get ourselves an island, beautiful island. Then our Homunculus in the set, one of our two. Then we get ourselves a Startle, a regular Witch of the Canogrel variety, a Flare of Faith, a Kafar's Call, Defend the Celestis, a Tireless Hauler, a Baithook Angler, I always forget the name of this card, but a Fanblade Brigand, and we get ourselves a Mimly Deluge. Great card in Standard at the moment in control decks, so good that we pulled that. And we get ourselves another Chill Land of the foil variety. We get ourselves a foil Rockvale Veil. Not bad at all. Like I said, I need as many of those as I can, so I will take that. I will take that without a sweat. Okay, another potentially list card, potentially fake list card. We're about to find out. Okay, we get ourselves a Fading Hope as our art card. We get a Mountain. We get ourselves the Neonate's Rush, the Elegant Outlaw, Evolve in Wilds, a Clear Shot, great reprint. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this Field of Ruin to the side because I know that a Carlos Ravnical artist wants it, so gotta get a playset of those. Fading Hope, the Tavern, the Rejuvenator, the Fisher, and we get ourselves a Celestis. Yes! Love this card in Standard. It's not like the best card in Standard, but I love it as just a free mana rock that incrementally draws me cards. Love this card. Then we get ourselves a foil Soul Guide Glyph, and we get ourselves a fake list card, but good token cards to have nevertheless. The story has been good so far, from what I read, so definitely give it a shot when you have the chance. Okay, we get another Arlen's the Moon's Fury in the... Ooh! We got the gold signature one on the Moon's Fury. Nice. Okay, nice to get that signature. We got ourselves a Swamp. We got ourselves a Bat Whisperer, a Vampiric Interloper, a Mountain Dread Knight, our pumpkin in the set, the Jack-O-Lantern. I love that this card exists. Then we get ourselves a Dissipate, a Noblegeist Intruder, aka the little pet that you have on Arena, a Tireless Hauler, Equinox Edition, and Regular Edition. Then we get ourselves a Shady Traveler, Equinox, and we get ourselves an egg! We get ourselves the Smoldering Egg, aka Arfine in the Ice in this set, that transforms into Dragon! It's been fun seeing people trying this card out. Then our foil is a Flame Channeler that turns into a Embodiment of Flame. And we get ourselves a list card. I haven't seen this before. Orzova, the Church of Dios. Okay, it's a land that you can essentially... Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life for 5 mana. I know that there will be decks that like this card, but it probably was a lot better in Standard than I give it credit for at the moment. Anyway, we get our rare. There we go. Okay. Ambitious Farmhand is our art card of the pack. We get ourselves a nice mountain. Tapping at the windows. This card is pretty much great and limited if you go into the blue-green, Okay, let me focus this real quick. If you go into, like, the blue-green, like, flashback deck, this is really good. Candle Trap, good limited removal. Blessed Defiance. Great that we got an Oblivion Ring for Standard that I've seen a lot of people playing in Standard. Because, hey, you need to borrow some time. Then we got ourselves a Royal Glyph, a Dual Craft Trainer, Soul Cleric. We get ourselves another Inquinaut's Hound Tamer, and we get ourselves a Geist Flame Reservoir. Nice card. Definitely fun if you go into, like, Is It Spells in Limited. In Standard, I'll probably brew around it when I get enough of them, but I'm not sure about it. Then we get ourselves an Immolation, and we get ourselves a list card, which is the Obsessive Stitcher. That's actually a pretty thematic list card, so well played on that one. Okay. Season Kafar is our art card. Then we get ourselves a nice forest. Amalgam. Revenge of the Drowned. Organ Holder. Really good and limited. This is just pretty much card draw on a free two. Then we get a mask. We get another borrowed time. And I see a very fancy card here. Royal Glyph. And we get... Okay, this isn't foil, but it looks foil. We get a Ludovic Necrogenius as our rare in the Shadows art. That turns into Olag Ludovic's Hubris. Which, honestly... Okay. I'm going to kind of go into my weird kind of... Not like rant, but just weird commentary about this card. It's kind of weird how we have these cards where it's like... You usually think with transform cards, you think cards that are essentially transformations of what they turn into. The Fiend on the back is not Ludovic. It's actually Ludovic's project, which I guess is still thematic. It's still resonant. And I do love this card for potentially brewing in a mini reanimator deck that I'm going to make in a future Brewing Labs video. Still, it's a very flavorful card. Plus, that art on it, it's just... Then we got ourselves a Keswick Naturalist, a Belief Survivor, and another Chill Land! Yay! We got ourselves the Haunted Ridge. I'll take as many of these as I can, my friend. Then we get ourselves a Gavany Dawnguard in foil. That's actually a really pretty foil. And we get ourselves Your First Harvest Tide May Be Your Last. Nights on Innistrad grow longer. The werewolves plan to ravage the humans' upcoming Harvesttide Festival to ensure a future of eternal night. Werewolf planeswalker Arlen Cord must stop her kin and the encroaching darkness. Can she and her newfound allies restore balance before the sun sets for good? Yeah, we'll find out in the story. And of course, we got a vampire token. We got all the lands. All the lands. Really, the one thing I would like to hope that I can pull that's a commander card. I really, really want to pull the Curse Commander. So I'm kind of hoping I pull that. We got ourselves a Flesh Taker. This art still creeps me out. Like, I remember when I first seen this, and I was like, ugh. Then we get ourselves a nice Plains. Going to just adjust these cards real quick right here. Wanting to make sure I don't get, like, a ridiculously, like... Oh, okay. There we go. That's what I was worried about. Technical difficulties, everybody. We got fallen cards. Okay, there we go. And I got these cards over here that just fell. So many cards falling everywhere. Everywhere! Hey, Alhazah, how you doing? Oh, and I gotta... here we go. There we go. Okay, so we get ourselves a component collector. An Unblinking Observer. Hey! Both Homunculus in the set. Candle Grove Rich, Dual Craft Trainer. Aw, well, I hope you get better on your singles market polls. Anyway, we got ourselves a Dryad's Revival, a Brood Viper, a Candle Grove Witch, Tavern Ruffian in the regular art. Then we get ourselves a Fisher, and we get another Mythic. We get the Sunstreak Phoenix. Pretty good, pretty much Phoenix with set mechanic, as I like to call it. I've been seeing some aggro decks definitely giving this a shot, so not a bad card. Then we get ourselves a foil Equinox Dawnheart Rejuvenator. Okay, here we go. Okay, so our art card in this case is the Candlelit Cavalry. Then we get ourselves a beautiful island. Then we get ourselves a Startle, Tapping the Window, Sighting, Faith, the Rise of the Aunts, the Turn the Earth, Winterhorn Blessing. Say that 5 times fast. Then we get our Devoted Grafkeeper. Then we get ourselves an Infiltrator. And our rare is a Wake to Slaughter. I mean, it's a nice reanimator spell, but you need to put it in the right deck. Then we get ourselves a foil Famished Foragers. And we get ourselves, as I like to call it, Daytime, Nighttime. Daytime, Nighttime. The card. Okay, let's see what we get from this one. Okay, so we get Shipwreck Marsh as our art card. Then we get ourselves a Pretty Swamp. Then we get ourselves a Candle Trap, a Stuffed Bear, Blessed Defiance, a Woofy Boy, a card that's a lot better in Standard than I gave it credit for it, mostly because Flashback is a very popular mechanic in Standard. Then we get ourselves a Phantom Carriage. Ooh, we got ourselves an Eternal Knight Giza, Glorious Resurrector. We got our Lady that Lights the Zombies. Very nice. Really hard to make work in Standard, if I'm being honest, but for Commander, I think it's definitely going to be good. Then we get ourselves a Dawnheart Rejuvenator. We get ourselves a Mystic Skull that becomes a big walking tank that's a Chromatic Lantern. Then our rare is a Curse of Silence. Pretty decent tech card in Standard. Then we get ourselves a foil Shipwreck Sifter. Okay. Then our art card is Old Stick Fingers. Definitely need to try that in a deck. We got ourselves an island. Just getting all these Shadow Eternal lands is probably the main reason why I got this box. We got ourselves Howl of the Hunt, Duel for Dominance, Gravity Trapper, Pestilent Wolf, Faithful Mending, probably one of my favorite Flashback cards of the set. Just love the flavor, I love the art on it, and I love the effect. Especially, I'm definitely going to be trying an Esper Reanimator deck. Then we got Ominous Roost, Tireless Hauler, Bird of Myra. We got ourselves a Lunarch Veteran, and we got ourselves, speaking of more zombie stuff, we got Jadar, Goopcaller Nephalia. Okay, I have to admit, I kind of sleeped on this card. I thought the card was not amazing, but it turns out in like Aristocrat decks, this card is ridiculously good. Like, you don't think much of it, but until you realize that you can constantly, like, if you have constant sack outlets on your turns, this is just a constantly generate a sack outlet, so great card. Then we get ourselves a foil Eaten Alive. Also, that is also a good point, Jadar. That. Bronze Panda, brain fart. Jadar is just 2 mana, which is probably the thing I should have just realized why the card was good. Just the fact that it was 2 mana for that effect. Okay, let's see what we get here. Then, our art card is a Harvesttide Sentry. We get ourselves a nice Forest. Moon Rage's Slash, still one of my #1 sleeper removal spells of the set. I mean, heck, when it's night, it's Lightning Bolt. And of course, I know that Lightning Bolt is pretty much one of its popular names. Then we got Courage, Unruly Mob, Flashy Wolf, Scab Wrangler, Vivisection, Harvesttide Infiltrator, Tavern Ruffian, the Awakener, and I think we got a list card here. We'll see it in a minute. And we got... Okay, I'm going to put this to the side here because I kind of want to do a slow roll on this one. So, we got our first Mythic. Yes, this is a multi-Mythic pack. We got ourselves a flip card, an Enduring Angel, along with Angelic Enforcer. So, Angels, and... we got ourselves a foil. We got ourselves one of the best foils to get. We got a foil Borderless Wrenn and 7. Oh my, that is pretty. I am a winner. A winner is me. Okay, I'm gonna get a sleeve for that real quick. And on 1 minute. Oh, that's so pretty. That is such a pretty foil. So yeah, we definitely won that pack. Oh, and our list card, we got a list card even with this, is Goblin Lore. Not as expensive as it was before, but it's kind of nice to pull these, especially if you have decks that need your Goblin Lores. So a 2 Mythic pack. I'll take it, especially with one of those Mythics being a foil Wrenn and 7. Oh, that is Splendor Rounding to the Pepperoni. There we go. The bots has been pretty legit, not gonna lie. Anyway, our art card is Dinrick. Then we get ourselves a nice Plains, a Defenestrate, a Raise of Effigy, Pax Betrayal, little Wolfren, little Necrosynthesis in my life, a little bit of Commander card in my time. No, seriously, this is a really good Commander card. Then we get a Faneblade Brigand, Gale Drifter, a Spell Runa Painter, and hey, can't stay away. Kitty! Kitty. Then we get ourselves a foil Canna Grove Rich, and well, that's a Mythic list card. We got a Balefire Dragon, everybody. That's a good pull. Balefire. To some people, that is what we call a blast from the past. Or I guess a Balefire of the past, but you know what I mean. I am definitely killing it with this bots, I will agree. This bots has been pretty legit. Then we get ourselves our Canna Grove Witch as our art card. We get ourselves a nice Plains, Stuffed Bear, Howl the Hunt, Duel for Dominance, Snarling Wolf, Dryad's Revival, Brood Reaver, Canna Grove Witch, Static Awakener, Tavern Ruffian, and hey, we got ourselves a Champion of the Perished! Sorry that your humans 1-drop just became a zombie 1-drop. I don't really care. I actually am really grateful that this card exists. Then we get ourselves a foil Snarling Wolf. Sorry, Bronze Panda. How do the kids say it these days? Press F for respects or something like that? Okay. Then our art card is a Nebelgas Intruder. I'm saying, this intruder is just, like, very smug. He's like, yeah, I know I'm passing by. Ayo. Then we got ourselves a Plains. Pretty Plains. Olivia's Midnight Ambush. Also another #1 sleeper removal of the set, in my opinion. Then we get ourselves a Doless. Grateful of this reprint. Otherworldly Gaze. Firminate Sage. Obsessive Exterminator. Hound Tamer. Shady Traveler. Tavern Ruffian. Gale Drifter. And yes! Badrick, my boy! Oh, I am going to do some jank brews around you. Electromancer as a commander. Plus, also, it's actually been last Friday's story. It's actually revolved around this character as well as the Boros commander, as well as Stickfingers. I would definitely recommend giving it a read. It's a really good read. Then we get a foil Scab Wrangler, and we get another list card. We get a Reality Shift. One of the most underrated commander cards, honestly. This card is really good in commander. 2 mana, Etzo, any fiend. Sure, your opponent gets a morph creature, but you can remove it with a board wipe. Double triggers, yes. Yes. Okay, so we get Brutal Kafar as our art card. That card's been impressed me a lot in the first week of Standard. Mountain, Burn the Curse. First, Mountain put aside. Immolation. Brimstone Vandal. Abandon the Posts. Ghoulish Procession. Bladestitch Scabbed. Dawnheart Mentor. Bird and Miler. Morning Patrol. And our rare is, hey, good EDH board wipe. Vanquish the Horde. Pretty much our Blasphemous Act for white, essentially. Great card. Wrathfamous Act. Yes. Yes, Bronze Vander. That is correct. Then we get a foil Flip the Switch. Okay, I'm going to get the spots near me real quick, because I'm kind of curious to see how many packs we got. We got 3 packs. We're on to our last 3 packs. There we go. And then we're on to the collector's box after this. Okay. We got ourselves the Mask as our art card. We got ourselves a Beautiful Plains. We got ourselves a Devil. We got ourselves a Path to the Festival. A Silverbolt. A Corpse Carver. A Flesh Taker. And Vadric, my boy, in the Eternal Night Art. Very nice. Very nice. And we also get ourselves Gitrog. We get ourselves another one of the commander cards, which is Visions of Dominance. AKA Baby Gitrog. Then we get ourselves an Heirloom Mirror, a Harvesttide Infiltrator, and another great commander card, Augur of Autumn. And then we get ourselves a Might of Old Krosa, and what is the list? With a token that's probably a Spirit token. Okay, second to last pack. I mean, if we get the Grixis Commander in this, I would be happy, but I would also be happy to pull like a foil in the Collector booster, so we'll see. Anyway, we got ourselves a Forest, and a foil Forest. Like I said, the foils in this are just legit awesome sauce. Then we get ourselves a Gavany Trapper, Moonrager Slash, Homestead Courage, a Pestilent Wolf, a Rise of the Ants, a Turn of the Earth, a Bird of Myra, a Tireless Hurler, a Gale Drifter, and Grafted Identity, which looks different on Arena. But hey, it's probably because they didn't want people to say, oh hey, Nicolas Cage, the deck. For anyone who never watched Face Off, that's pretty much the reference. Then we got ourselves a foiled Homestead Courage, and another, what is the list? Last set booster pack. Okay, noteless card. So far, the bot still has been pretty legit, so... Steiner is our art card, but oh, foil swamps, yes. As I like to call this, the foil Resident Evil 4 swamp. I still wonder why they changed it. Maybe it's because they wanted to give a spook to arena players, especially those who keep an eye on spoiler season, because they're like, oh, it's going to be Nicolas Cage face. And they're like, ah, zombie face. I wonder if it's more just like a jump scare like that. But still, foil Resident Evil 4 swamp, yes. Then we get ourselves a Locked in the Cemetery, Fraben Exorcism, Electric Revelation, Ardent Elementus, Moon Silver Key, Lunar Frenzy, and we get ourselves a commander card. We get ourselves Visions of Dread, another one of these flashback cards. We get ourselves a Burly Breaker, Flame Channeler, and we get ourselves Burn Down the House. Do, 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 do. I could definitely see that being the reason too. Maybe they just have to be cautious of the region. And then we got ourselves a foil Murkrot Behemoth. So before we move on to the collector's bots, let's actually look at this because I want to see how many mythics I got out of this. So we got, technically including the list card, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 mythics! We got 7 mythics. Or, blah. 7 mythics! Including one of them being the good human commander. And, of course, the foil Ridden 7. So many mythics.